What up, everybody? As good as Force Season 3 has been, we already knew some of the main events that have taken place so far were gonna happen based on the Season 3 trailer, like Tommy getting kicked out of CBI and becoming a lone wolf, JP's death, and Tommy teaming up with Miguel, amongst other things. But now that all the predictable stuff has taken place, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen next and how things are going to end. Showrunner Gary Lennon teased that Season 3 would be a bloodbath, which it has, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that all the main characters would be getting wiped out neither. Because up to this point, we've only had 3 major deaths take place this season to main characters, and that's the deaths of Claudia Flynn, Stacy Marks, and JP. There was also a few deaths to characters that are a tier down from main characters, but still significant characters who've had multiple scenes on the show, like Mirkovich, Kendra the CEO, and King Kilo, 2 gang leaders and a CO. And other than that, Season 3 has been a bloodbath for a lot of random Force characters, like the Marquez soldiers, or characters who've only had a couple scenes on the show, like Chavo Cardina and Rashawn from the SODs. And with that said, we also got to keep in mind that most of the main cast of Power Book 2 Ghost survived that series, except for Monet Tejada, and to a lesser degree, Noma and her daughter, Anya Covington. But even Noma didn't show up on the scene until Season 3 and wasn't a full-time character until Season 4. And most of us expected that Monet was going to get killed off the show because the fact we knew that Mary J. Blige was making $400K an episode. So realistically, the most deaths we're probably talking about in these final 2 episodes is 2, maybe 3 major deaths an episode. Either though we do know that Tommy is going to be on one after the death of JP and could end up going scorched earth in the city of Chicago, along with the fact that D-Mac might end up crashing out over his father's death as well. Something else to keep in mind for these last 2 episodes is that episode 9 is supposed to serve as a false finale. So this next episode will have the feel of a finale before the actual series finale. The first characters to look at getting taken out in one of these final episodes would be either Che or Roberto Ortega, because drug lords and cartel leaders don't have a good history in surviving in the Power universe, from Lobos to the Jimenez, and to an even lesser degree Jason Mitchell in Milan. And by the end of the series, I don't think there will still be cartel wars taking place in the city of Chicago. I think most likely one of these cartels will end up taking control after either Che or Ortega is taken off the board. But at the same time, I also think there's a chance that both could end up getting taken out also. Next, I'm looking at the potential death of Shanti Showstopper, as she's been playing all sides, plotting behind everyone's back. And I think there's a good chance that it ends up catching up with her. And now that she has her meeting with Che next episode, I think she might end up overstepping and getting taken out because of that. Also keep in mind, she was one of the original targets of the Marquez cartel because it was Shanti and Tommy who set them up to get arrested. And there's also the wild card of Shanti's crash out ex-boyfriend Jannard taking Shanti out, or Tommy even taking Shanti out himself. Then there's the new acting U.S. attorney Bill Singh, who's in the Marquez cartel's pocket, and Chan already threatened him in episode 8. But with Ortega getting out of jail, he should be good. But when working for the Marquez cartel, one wrong move could cost Singh his life. And the wild card with Singh is Bobby DeFranco. With Ortega being released from jail, this could mean that Singh ends up burning Stacy Marks, and Bobby DeFranco. So because of that, DeFranco could end up turning on Sang. Next, I'm looking at the death of Kate Egan, as Kate is currently trying to change her life around and do better, getting off drugs and alcohol for the first time in her life. I think she could end up getting taken out because I think there will be at least one tragic death to somebody else close to Tommy, either D-Mac, Mireya, or Kate. And I think Kate is somebody that people are overlooking. I think that Kate will find out that Mireya is pregnant and end up redeeming herself for Tommy, always get in the middle of his love life by saving Mireya's life, similar to how Angela did with Ghost. And of course, like I said, Mireya could also be the one to end up getting taken out. But personally, I don't want to see that or her lose her baby. I'm pulling for Mireya to be the first ever Power character to find out she's pregnant on screen who actually gives birth to the child. And as for D-Mac, I think he'll also survive this series. But after episode 8, as for his former best friend Marshall, I think he could end up getting taken out now that he's betrayed D-Mac twice. Because I don't think there's no coming back from that. Because D-Mac probably shouldn't forgive him again unless he does something to redeem himself by saving D-Mac or helping them with the war against CBI. If not, I don't see much left for Marshall's character and could see him ended up getting taken out. As for Miguel Garcia, I think it's a 50-50 shot if he survives because I can see him being useful for the Power Legacy series as Tommy's main connect left in Chicago when Tommy moves away. But at the same time, I can also see Miguel going out in a similar way to Monet Tejada and how she went out at the end of Power Book 2, going out with two guns blazing for his family to save Mireya and potentially even Tommy. Now we're getting into the main characters, Tommy, the Sampson brothers, and Vic Flynn, the only main characters going back to season 1 who are left standing. So the big question is, how many of these 4 will be left standing at the end of the series? I know a lot of people are expecting Gennard to get taken out by the next episode by either D-Mac or Tommy after killing JP. But I've had a feeling since the start of the season that Gennard is ultimately gonna survive this series. And I still feel that way even after he took out JP, even though I do acknowledge that he could easily be taken out next episode. As for Vic Flynn, after pulling the gun on Tommy in episode 8 and making him dance like that, shooting at his feet, I would think that Tommy would be coming for him. But the two saving graces that might end up saving Vic Flynn is that Tommy is now more worried about avenging JP than taking out Vic, and also that Vic's currently in police custody. I also think that Starz wants to keep this actor around, considering they already transitioned him from Hightown to Power. So out of these 3, I think the most likely to die would be Diamond Sampson. And I think the biggest clue that he could end up getting taken out is that Isaac Keys, who plays Diamond, has a new book called The Grind Don't Stop, It Just Changes. And I know this is supposed to be talking about going from playing football to acting. But if Diamond isn't going to be on Force anymore, that could also been part of the inspiration behind the book. And the last character to talk about is Tommy Egan, who I don't think will die in Force. But Joseph Sikora did say that he can't guarantee that Tommy will survive the Force series. So because of that, I did make a video of Tommy potentially dying earlier in the season. So if you want to check out that video, I'll put a link in the description or whatever. But concerning those 4 main cast members, Tommy, Diamond, Gennard, Vic, and even D-Mac, I also think there's a chance that they'll all survive. Keeping in mind, like I said at the beginning of the video, in Power Book 2, Monet was the only main cast member killed in the final episodes. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.